It's time to actually make this year your year. Hi everyone, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here to my channel. I am Mariana Solis. We talk a lot about self-improvement, personal development, self-help, basically anything that we need to know in order to level up. And today's video is going to be all about reinventing yourself and how to actually do it correctly, because I think this year has just been a phenomenal year of growth, and I really just stepped into my higher self. Obviously, I am still on a journey of growth, but I think I actually just transformed my life this past year, and this is exactly how I did it. But before we get started, do not forget to like this video, comment down below your current goals, and subscribe to my channel so that we can embark on this leveling up journey together. So the first step in reinventing yourself is doing an analysis. This is where you are just going to reflect on what you are doing now, what you are liking about what you're doing. Ask yourself who you are surrounding yourself with, what environment do you have around you, and what you would like to change about your current routines. For example, let's say you're eating out just way too much. Well, then that's something that you would want to change because you want to lose weight and because you want to save money. And then this part of the journey, it's all about focusing on who you are right now instead of who you want to be, because this is what's going to give you an idea of what you can implement to level up. This is also the time where you just really get to know yourself, because if you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going. For example, let's say family is something that you really value, but you just isolate yourself to reach your goals. When you reach your goal, you're gonna be super miserable and confused because you're all alone and you miss your family. Versus if you know from the start that family is something that you really value, then your journey of reaching your goals is still going to incorporate some family time. So track your daily habits, journal a lot, reflect on your days, reflect on your weeks and your months. Try out some new hobbies and have lots and lots of internal dialogue to really figure out who you are. And honestly, this step might take you majority of the year, and that's okay. I like to break down my years by 4 quarters. So Q1, the first 3 months of the year, I am just analyzing who I am right now. Next is the goal setting step, the one where we are all super excited about. And yes, it's so exciting to have some goals, but you have to do it very strategically, because a lot of the times our goals do not get met. So with strategic goals, you're being so intentional and you're having a plan in place so that your goals go beyond simply setting them. You're going to break down every single goal, no matter how small it is. For example, let's say your goal is to drink a gallon of water. Well, you can go the approach of going from drinking, let's say, 1 little hydro flask or half a hydro flask full of water every day, and try to push yourself to nail down drinking that gallon of water by the next day or by the next week. But a lot of the times that's either one, going to be too hard, you're not going to make it and you're going to get dismotivated, or you're going to be able to do it for a month, maybe even less, and then you're going to fall off. So the strategic approach that I would take in order to reach that goal of drinking a gallon of water a day would be, for the first 2 weeks, to focus on finishing my hydro flask. And then the next week, focusing on finishing 2 hydro flasks. Or you can even do it a little bit simpler. Every morning when I wake up, I am going to drink a cup of water. Every morning when I wake up, I am going to chug half of my hydro. And you're slowly going to add more and more water until you reach the goal of drinking a gallon of water each day. Now, this process might take really long because you're not moving until the next step until you really nail down the step before. But that's okay, because our goal is to completely reinvent ourselves, completely transform our lifestyle. Our goal is not to just become a new person overnight. And I do have a video specifically on habits and how to build them and how to make them sustainable and long-lasting if you want to go check it out. Which leads me into my next point. When you are setting a goal, instead of thinking with the goal in mind, think of the habits and routines that you need to implement in order to reach that goal. You can also think about becoming the person who naturally nails down those goals. For example, if I say I want to run 3 miles without stopping by the end of the year. Well, that is such a very simple, easy thing to say. So I'm not really liking the explanation that I was giving, but basically if I say I want to run a 5K by the end of the year, well, that's definitely a great goal to have. But do you actually just want to run that 5K by the end of the year? Like, do you really just want to be able to run once. If we train for a month or two, we can reach that goal. But a lot of the times we don't just want to run the 5K. We want to become runners. Like, we want to be that bitch that wakes up every day at 6 in the morning and goes on a run. That bitch that can run 3 miles without being out of breath. That's who we want to become. Way more sense to say, I want to be a runner, rather than just make your goal, I want to run a 5K. I want to be a runner. So what does a runner do? Maybe the night before, a runner lays down their clothes so that in the morning all they have to do is change. Maybe the night before, a runner makes sure to hydrate, to have enough energy for that run. Maybe a runner would pack a water pack in their car, would always have their running shoes near them. Maybe that's what a runner does. So then you would start slowly implementing those habits until you eventually just become a runner. This year, I ran 13 miles, which I have not done since high school. And I was so proud of myself, but it was not something that I just did overnight. And if I would have tried to do that overnight, maybe I could have done it. Maybe I could have hit those 13 miles, but I guarantee you that would have been a one-time occurrence. I would have been aching. I'm like, you know what? This running shit is not for me. I actually did 1 mile at a time every week, every single week, not every single day, every single week. I would add in another mile. So that whole process of running those 13 miles took about, I want to say 4 months. And that's a long time. That's almost half a year. And without having the mindset of us not really striving to reach our goals, but striving to completely reinvent ourselves, guarantee you, I would not have had the discipline to wake up every single week and add another mile. I would have probably done it for a month, maybe max. And then I would have been like, you know what, this is too hard. This is not for me. I am not that girl. So now you have analyzed your current self and you have set realistic and strategy-based goals. Now it is time to actually go after them. When it comes to this part of the journey, I think mindset is everything. If you don't have the right mindset going into the journey, or at least when you reach this part of the journey, you're not going to make it. Because most goals are very gradual. They take the entire year. They take a few months, you know, especially like, let's say you want to lose weight. You can't lose the weight in a week, in 2 weeks. I know a lot of people promote that, but a lot of the times that isn't really long term. A lot of the times that just leads to yo-yo dieting. So real weight loss, real sustainable and consistent weight loss, it takes months, it takes years. And a lot of times we set these goals for ourselves, and then after a few months, we get discouraged and we wonder why. It's because we haven't done this part of the process correctly. It's about accepting that this shit is gonna take time. It's about being committed to the journey, not the outcome. The outcome will come so long as you stay in that journey. It is all about the journey. And yes, are you going to slip up? Of course, everybody slips up. Everybody has those bad days. That's okay. Do not let them discourage you, and do not let a slump completely derail you. We are striving for progress, not perfection. I promise you, there is not a single person who has set themselves up on a journey of self-improvement and whose journey looked completely perfect. And I think the best way that I avoided a months-long slump, that I avoided completely just quitting, has just been by taking it slow. So slow that sometimes you even wonder if you're doing enough. Sometimes you even wonder if you're ever going to get there because of how slow you're moving. But I promise you that one day you are going to wake up and you will become this better dream version of yourself. You will look completely different. You will feel completely different. And you will be unrecognizable. Nobody becomes the best version of themselves overnight. And I know with social media, it can feel a little misleading. It can feel like everybody is just leveling up and getting there so quickly, but that is not the reality. A lot of these influencers start posting halfway through their journey when they already have the correct mindset, which takes years to build. And then all they have to do is just put in the work for 1, 2, 3 years. But it takes years to get to that point where you have the correct mindset going in. And remember that the hardest part about reinventing yourself should not be the routines. It should be learning how to stay patient, because that is the key to staying consistent. But that was how I completely reinvented myself. A lot of the times we think that we need to do all these hard and drastic changes when in reality, it's completely the opposite. Trust me, I have been there. I have been trying to just completely turn my life upside down because I just was so motivated. I felt like I could do anything, and I was like, yes, I got it, I could be disciplined. But that is not how humans work. Maybe a few of us work like that, the lucky ones, but most of us will get burnt out. But other than that, that was all that I had for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that we could continue embarking on this leveling up process together. Bye.